Protect your privacy online with the best VPN for gaming, ExpressVPN, and visit expressvpn.com/GhillieMaster, linked in the description, to find out how you can get 3 months free. So we talked about what cars I'd like to see in the next update a few weeks ago. Now I want to discuss with you guys some features and quality of life updates that I want to see in the next update. And to add to the video, I asked you guys on my YouTube community tab as well as on Twitter, so we're going to include some popular suggestions from you guys as well. Based off of the one newswire of information that we got about the summer update, Rockstar have stated that the next update is going to be bringing some of the most frequently fan-requested additions to the game, with a host of new items, quality of life updates, and much more, and that's a quote from their newswire. So with that in mind, and given the theme of the update, I want to see Nitrous finally be added to GTA Online. And to be honest, I'd be shocked if Nitrous wasn't added in the next update. The only issue is that they would probably only add it for the new vehicles when every car should have access to it, in my opinion. Just basing it on how they did the Arena War boost, only the new cars got the upgrade, the old ones didn't. But going into more detail with Nitrous, it should also come with different variations. For example, you can get a more powerful boost that doesn't last as long, or you can get one that's less powerful but lasts you much longer. And for the visuals, let us adjust the Nitrous exhaust color like in some of the older racing games like Midnight Club 3. The next feature I'd like to see is seamless racing in free mode. It's been a very long time since we got brand new free mode events along the lines of Penned In, Criminal Damage, etc. And since this seems to be a racing focused update, how about a brand new free mode event that starts up a street race right into free mode? The game would pick a track out of a list, send the notification to the entire free mode lobby indicating that a street race is starting soon and to come in a specific class of vehicle, or if we're really thinking outside the box, any vehicle. And maybe to make it even more interesting, there's a buy-in to enter and the winner takes home the jackpot, and then once the race starts, players who aren't in the activity will turn into a passive state so they can't interfere, kind of like what happens during a time trial. And then when the race ends, the event ends and it's back to regular free mode until the next event starts up. Yeah, I've kind of had this idea for a while now, and I feel like this would be the perfect update to add in such a feature, so hopefully something like that is in store for us. This next one is a pretty big one, but please add in some sort of features so that we can organize our garages better. I feel like this is a case of the game just not aging very well with the new additions, because the garage and vehicle spawning system hasn't really changed since the start. Only back then we could own like 2 properties, so there wasn't really a necessity for a feature like that like there is now. But nowadays we can own, like 6 apartments, 3 office garages, 3 nightclub garages, some arena garages, a facility, a biker clubhouse, just so many different vehicles, and I don't even remember where I put all of them. And even if I wanted to reorganize my garages so that I could remember, I have to do it 1 car at a time, driving to and from each garage, which is just a chore at that point. We should have a way to use the blue circle to manage all of our cars from a single area maybe, or at the very least a new property which lets us do exactly that, because it really is getting out of hand now. If anything from this list makes it to the game, I kind of hope it's this last one, but how awesome would it be to have extensive performance tuning for your vehicle? Like if you could tune your vehicle to get the exact handling that you want, or if you can tune it to be better at acceleration or top speed. And what comes to my mind when I think about this is Need for Speed Underground 2's performance tuning. I'll put some pictures on the screen to show you guys what I mean if you've never seen or played Need for Speed Underground 2, which by the way you should, it's a great game. But honestly, this was a feature way ahead of its time now that I think about it. You could tune the drivetrain, the sway bars, the shocks, just so many different things that would affect how your car performed with its handling, top speed, and acceleration. And if a feature like this ever made it to GTA, just imagine the amount of different builds you could make for your cars. It wouldn't just be slapping on the usual performance upgrades and calling it a day. You could fine tune it to your liking, making it exactly how you want it to be. And hey, they did say the best weapon will be a precisely modified getaway vehicle. And if you ask me, this sounds pretty precise. Now I want to go over some of the suggestions for features or changes from the community that you guys sent in to me, starting off with DHC Network, who says, besides Nitrous, I'd like to see new races like drift races, lap knockout, and the one I asked for a long time, drag races. And I am so with you on that one, DHC. Imagine drag races paired with the performance tuning. You would be racing a different vehicle each time because no car would be exactly the same, at least until someone finds an eventual meta. Drift races would be nice too, however, they would have to be non-contact because imagine just trying to hit a sick drift and some random just T-bones you in the middle of your turn. That would not be a fun time. Ethane Bruh on Twitter says, number 1, have 30-second cooldowns for calling in non-weaponized vehicles. Number 2, allow health to regen to max naturally. 3, a cops and crooks mode that isn't half-assed. 4, a better balanced Mark II. And number 5, no more NPC spam phone. He brings up a good point there. In my opinion, there shouldn't be any cooldown for calling in non-weaponized vehicles these days. At this point, non-weaponized vehicles are at such a disadvantage in free mode that getting into one is practically a death sentence anyways with the amount of homing missile vehicles there are. Not having a cooldown would at least give some incentive to drive around in a normal car. The health regen one is an interesting one. I don't think Rockstar would do it, just because that's one of the bonuses for being next to your CEO as an associate. Your health regens to maximum. But I do agree that it's annoying to get shot like one time and then have your health be stuck like that until you eat some snacks. Unfortunately, I think the Cops and Crooks DLC got scrapped, so I doubt that one's going to happen anytime soon. As much as I want to see a Cops and Crooks update, I just don't think it's happening anymore. A better balanced Mark II, for God's sake, please. If the Mark II is nerfed, the update will be a win in my book. I say this literally every update. And as for the 5th one, to be honest, I don't get spammed that often anymore, but that's also because I own all of the properties that are available to us. When I play GTA Online on PC once in a blue moon, I get Bryony calling me about the arena nonstop and just so many others that it gets unbearable. So yeah, they need to do something about that. James the Cool 25 says they should patch the bug when trying to call in personal vehicles and die. The personal vehicle doesn't spawn in and you have to wait the cooldown again. And this one happens to me like once every time I play at least. And you know what? If they just took the cooldown away from non-weaponized vehicles, this wouldn't be an issue anymore because there wouldn't be a cooldown anyways. I mean, it could still happen for weaponized vehicles, but it would be a lot more tolerable than it is now. Royalty Gaming wants to see Nitrous, a claim all option for Moore's Mutual, airbags to adjust our ride height, wide body kits, and new engine swaps. So this goes back to the conversation about a wider variety of customization than we've ever seen before in GTA. Engine swaps would be extremely cool to see actually, especially if they drastically changed how the car sounded. The claim all option for Moore's Mutual was a very popular request among my community, both on Twitter and YouTube. That was probably one of the most common ones I saw. And we did used to have that option, but because of a money glitch, I think they got rid of it. But that had to have been like 3 years ago, so you'd think they would have found a better fix for it by now so that we can have that nice feature back, but, you know, I guess not. Sosa Wilth Chamberlain wants some more hangar space, and I am right there with you. In fact, I would pay millions to be able to own another hangar and double my aircraft storage. There's so many vehicles that I want to store, but I just can't because I'm out of space. If we can own like 200 regular vehicles, we should be able to own more than 20 aircraft. Come on. Trusting on YouTube says he wants manual gear changes optional on certain cars. And much like the claim all option, I saw a lot of people requesting for manual transmission to be added. Personally, I think it would be kind of annoying to deal with that in regular free mode driving because there's just so many other things you have to worry about. But in a drag race or any kind of race, I think it would be a lot of fun. I don't really know what the controls for that would be like though. Maybe they could do X and RB on Xbox to upshift and X and LB to downshift, the same controls for shunt boosting. That could probably work well. But yeah, it's always nice to have more options for the players, so even if I wouldn't use it in free mode, I'm sure a lot of other people would. AG says armored vehicles or planes actually being armored and not destroyed by one rocket. Pool tables like GTA 4 had, and to summarize his last point, basically an easier way to select cars on the race start screen. And that last one hits right at home. When you have like 25 supercars and 20 seconds to scroll through them, it does get annoying and you rarely have time to select the car that you want. They need to give us like a vertical list of our cars or something for the race because the current way just doesn't cut it anymore. And you know, it's just like I said earlier, it's an issue with the game's UI aging poorly as more and more things are added. Also, if they were to give the Alchemist and Bambushka actual armor, that would be great. It's laughable how poor those vehicles were designed. It's quite sad, actually. And for the point about pool, I will always welcome more minigames. Pool or air hockey with friends would be such a fun time. And to finish off the community suggestions, we have AC who says GTA 6. As awesome as it would be to have GTA 6 in the next update, I think you're just a few decades off, my friend. Anyways, what are some things that I didn't mention in today's video that you would like to see in the next update? Let me know in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more guide and PvP related content. You may have noticed that I sound a bit different, and hopefully it sounds much better than my old mic because I just did get a new mic. I'm still kind of tweaking with it to get the exact sound I want, but so far I like the sound more than the old one. I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.